Hey, what up everybody, this is Steve Breach coming to you. It's Fastlane. It's finally here, the pay-per-view. Honestly, I've been pretty negative on this show, thinking that it's not really going to be that big of a deal. Just sort of counting down until, I don't know what we're counting down to. I guess WrestleMania 31. A couple of matches that sort of mean something. A lot of matches that were put together at the last minute that didn't really mean anything. One of the last matches that were added was the opening match of the night, which was the six-man tag. You had Team Cena and friends getting back together without John. You had Eric Rowan, you had Dolph Ziggler, and you had Ryback going up against, basically the Authority with J&J Security on the outside, basically making this a 3-on-5 match of Corporate Kane, a Big Show, and Seth Rollins. And I don't know, the match, honestly, the way they opened up Fastlane made it seem like it was a big show. It had a good opening. It seemed like you were driving in a car, speeding down the road, trying to make sure you got there on time. And as you were going along, you saw different, highlights of different matches, whether it was Cena versus Rusev or, Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns or things like that. But once this match got started, basically the show opened with Dolph Ziggler coming out for a big rousing ovation to rouse up the crowd, and then behind him came Rowan and Ryback. The Ryback seemed to get the biggest reaction of all three of these guys. Seems like Ziggler's sort of big rub that he got at the Survivor Series, getting the big win, has already rubbed off a little bit in a little bit of a way. The match, I like to be positive a lot of times with WWE, but honestly, it seemed like they were in different spots at different times. One thing I didn't like about this match is when Seth Rollins was in this match, Corporate Kane and Big Show weren't really selling. They just weren't on the apron. They were just down on the floor. At corporate times, they would get up into the ring and interfere. Ryback seemed to be getting the most shine out of this match. You would think that whoever's going to get the most shine out of this match is going to be getting some sort of a big shot at WrestleMania with it coming up next month. I would hate to see this in any form of this match redone on the WrestleMania 31 card. I don't want to see Ryback and Ziggler team up. I don't want to see Rowan going in there. Yeah, it's weird. I forgot about Luke Harper and Mark Henry. What the fuck they're doing these days. Basically, Seth Rollins got the most shine out of this. A couple of times he was looking to put things away. He was hitting super kicks on Ryback, trying to slow him down. Although they're pretty weak-looking super kicks. He's not really extending. He's just sort of kicking the dude right in the face. But it was pretty cool as Ryback caught Rollins coming off the top rope, hit him with a big shell shock coming off of there. But then, Big Show came into the ring to interfere, breaking it up. Ziggler woke up from the outside, got back into the match. Started doing the big spot of the night before he got caught up into the corner with Kane, and from the outside, Big Show delivered the knockout blow, which set up Kane to deliver the big choke slam. Boom! Right there in the middle of the ring to lay him out for the 1, 2, 3. And the bad guys start off the show with a victory. So we'll see where this goes. I'm hoping that Rollins is lining up, and it looks like no return from Randy Orton. But we will see what we get from this in the future a little bit more. We'll move on to the next match. I guess I paused that too fast. Finally, he's back. I can honestly say that in my last video about this, I didn't mark out at all. I told you everybody that Randy Orton was basically getting to be one of those guys that I just really didn't care about anymore. And I did mark out when he came out tonight. Finally, Randy Orton has debuted. I know that I made like 6,000 hype-up videos saying that this was the right time for him to come out, whether if it was Raw or SmackDown, the Royal Rumble. There was a lot of time between the last time we saw him hyping up Survivor Series and this right here, Fastlane, going into WrestleMania 31. Hopefully it's a good little break for Randy, where now he's going to be coming back as a babyface. Too bad he's not going to be wearing the baby blue shirt anymore. But after the big six-man tag, the numbers just became too many guys. Like I said in the last review, that it was basically 5-on-3 in that match with both members of J&J Security out there in Rollins' corner with Corporate Kane and Big Show. But once the match was over, Ziggler laid in the middle of the ring, and they all surrounded him and just fed on him like wolves, to the point where Rollins hit him with a big curb stomp, at the point where Ryback and Rowan came in trying to make the save. Rowan was hit with Rowan was just beat up at the corner. He didn't even deserve a finisher for a few minutes before Rollins finally hit him with another curb stomp, but Ryback fell to a double choke slam from Kane and Big Show, who were inside of the ring, and just everybody was laying around dead, and it just looked like there was no hope for these guys. Like I said, this match really decided where these guys are going for WrestleMania 31. I'm hoping that we don't see any incarnation of this tag match once again. Hopefully this will all just die out. Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback and the Team Cena Super Friends can just sort of break up and move on about their way. But we get to see, Randy's music played from the back after the fans actually cheered for Randy to come out, and he slithered his way into the ring, going right after everybody. Basically Seth Rollins hightailed it out of there. Basically, just he started running throughout the fans out of the arena. He got to where the parked cars were, and he wasn't stopping. If you actually look around, Seth Rollins is probably still running. Probably down one of those Memphis freeways, but Randy makes his debut. Easily you can see Randy versus Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 31, up on the marquee as being one of those co-main events, definitely being some sort of a big match. Hopefully he'll beat him down enough for that huge RKO that we've all been waiting for on Rollins for months and months now. But also, when you think about it, Orton's he's 0 Triple H, a pretty good RKO as well. More than likely we'll be seeing Triple H and Randy Orton in the same ring. They won't keep them apart from each other because where we see Rollins, we see Triple H, and Triple H is going to be going up against Sting, who more than likely won't be making a whole lot of appearances before now and WrestleMania, because of the fact that Sting doesn't talk. You can't just have this guy just standing there, looking around all the time. So I'm pumped. Hopefully you're pumped. Randy Orton makes his return, and we'll be counting down to Raw in the next match in a minute. All right, everybody. Second match of the night tonight was Goldust going up against his brother Stardust. We saw a big backstage sort of montage before this one, the breakup of the Rhodes brothers, basically having Dusty and Goldust meet in the back, basically just, Dusty Rhodes talking to Dustin, telling him, basically, just go in there and handle your business, but know at the end of the day, this is your brother, and basically you don't want to hurt him too much, and that is the story that they're weaving, and it was basically Goldust going out there and saying that he was going to get in the ring tonight, and he was going to, wrestle Cody, and he was going to make sure that he beat him to the point where he didn't want to, wear that face paint again. I don't know where they shot this, this backstage promo, or where they came up with the idea of it, but it seems that wasn't the match that they went out there and wrestled. I don't know if they did one promo and then they changed the match somewhere along the way, because they have a different way that this story is going, but this was a very weird, very dull match. It was almost like these guys really didn't feel each other out. So many times when we see tag teams break up, so many times we see, these partners go into the ring and have singles matches, and they just have all sorts of chemistry because, you've watched this guy wrestle night in and night out at house shows, Monday Night Raws, SmackDowns, pay-per-views. These guys went in the ring almost like they had never seen each other or didn't understand their style. Almost every move they messed up in the first couple of minutes of this match, to the point of where they just tried to slow everything down to the point where Cody / Stardust was yelling at the fans for chanting Cody, Cody, Cody. It seems that everyone out there wants the best for Cody Rhodes, to go on in the career. I don't know many people who don't like Cody Rhodes. A lot of people think that he has a whole bunch of talent. I'm not going to say that people think that he's like the best pound-per-pound wrestler in WWE for his size, but I definitely think that he definitely should be in a spot bigger than where he is for now. It seems that this story isn't over. Goldust, did score the victory via a roll-up, which did surprise me, basically with Goldust saying that he was going to beat Cody to the point of not wanting to put on that paint on anymore, and that we would see Cody Rhodes once again. But Goldust never beat on Cody. It was just a strictly wrestling match. I did think it was really weird, Cody's attire out there as Stardust. Normally as Stardust he wore the full-on, I don't know what to call it, a leotard or get up, whatever you want to call the Stardust outfit. Now he's just wearing long tights. He's got a bare chest. He didn't paint his full face. He did the star, but then left the mouth and chin unpainted. So maybe it was like the unraveling of Cody. Maybe Cody's coming undone, or he's coming out of the Stardust. Maybe, I don't know, but as with all of these matches, you have to wonder, what does this, mean to WrestleMania 31? I'm honestly to go on to the point of saying that I hope this storyline gets raveled out faster than, WrestleMania. I don't want to see this match again. This match didn't leave me to the point of anything of wanting to see this. I know that it is a dream of theirs, and I've been on their side, basically saying, back since like 2010 when Goldust was, on Twitter, basically, just begging the fans for support of a Goldust DVD, and getting him a Goldust versus Cody Rhodes as a retirement match at WrestleMania 26 or 27, and I don't know. I know that this is what they really want. I know the Rhodes family means a lot to WWE. I know that Cody Rhodes has a bright future, I hope, in WWE, but this isn't the match. I mean, Cody's gone out at WrestleMania and had great matches with, Rey Mysterio, Ted DiBiase, and Randy Orton, and he had a match against Big Show. That was it. It was a match. But then again, it was Big Show out there with him. But we're going to have to see. I'm not 100% sure where they go from here. But I'll just say I don't want to see this match again. It just wasn't for me. Awesome freaking tag match tonight between Tyson Kidd and Cesaro going up against the Usos. Honestly, in my mind, I thought that WWE was really making the Usos the benchmark, sort of top of the list for the WWE tag team division, and I thought that maybe Tyson Kidd and Cesaro were just sort of like a holding point in order to get them to where they're going. I know that there's been a lot of talk about Cesaro, on the rise in WWE, and every time he gets to a certain point, they drop him all the way back down. It really looked like he was really climbing towards something last year. I remember he was qualified for the Elimination Chamber. He had the awesome match against John Cena. He beat Randy Orton. And, just every time he started getting going, he fell back down. You remember the breakup of him and Cesaro, then he became the Paul Heyman guy. Next thing you know, he's added into a three-man at Extreme Rules with Jack Swagger. And, I really thought that him and Jack Swagger were a really good tag team as the Real Americans. And, they never really got the chance to win tag team championships. I thought that they might do it last year at WrestleMania 30. Now, here we are. They're going to be him and Tyson Kidd are going to be the tag champs rolling into WrestleMania 31. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro could be a really good tag team. I know that, one of my big problems with tag teams and the tag team division in WWE is there's so many just, what are you doing with this guy? What are you doing with that guy? I don't know. Just put them together, and now that will have them be a team. They are sort of unofficially called the Masters of the Universe, playing off of He-Man. I don't think they can officially use that name because of that. But this is a really good team, and they're going to have a lot of great matches against the Usos. Tonight was a really good one as well. Probably the first good match of the night. With the six-man not really being all that great, and then Goldust and Stardust not being what it should have been. But this is really good. Tyson Kidd is another guy who's no slouch. Winning tag team gold for the first time probably since 2010 in my mind with the New Heart Foundation. It was him and Natalia with D.H. Smith, who has left and now wrestles for New Japan. As of right now, he's a part of the Invasion with Noah. He's a tag team champion with Vance Archer of WWE fame as well. Well, not much WWE fame, I guess you can say, about Vance Archer. But, they've been, really holding down the tag team division over there in New Japan for at least the last year, maybe even a little bit longer. And, it's good for Tyson. And, the Usos losing the championship. I know that this is their second loss of these titles in the last few months. Of course, losing them for a month to Miz and Mizdow. They're always going to be in the hunt. As far as being WWE's, real official tag team, that, especially with their dad going into the Hall of Fame, I don't think they're going to be holding the tag team champions up there. But you can see that this is more than likely going to be another WrestleMania match. As of right now, I can't really think of any other tag teams that are involved in WWE. You just had, Miz and Mizdow haven't officially broken up yet, but they might as well have. Goldust and Stardust broke up. I can't remember the last time I saw the Matadors do anything that was important. So, you would think that the tag team championships are going to be on the line, whether in the pre-show or whether on the real WrestleMania 31 card, that Tyson and Cesaro are going to be going in as the champs. So, congratulations to them. They get a whole bunch of talent. Tyson coming out of the NXT deal. I know it's not what I thought it was going to be. It's not even an Intercontinental or United States Championship run for Tyson, but I thought that this was just a holding pattern for both of these guys, so they'd be able to find something for each of them to do. It seems that this holding pattern is really going to work out. It really is going to mean something. I believe this is Cesaro's first tag team championship. Of course, he's had the United States Championship for a few times. It's been a while on that one. Tyson hasn't won a singles gold, but he's had these tag belts for before in the past. So congratulations to both of them, and moving on from here. We are early into the show here. Honestly, I don't know if this is halfway or not, or if it's before half, but my main event just happened, and that was basically Triple H versus Sting in the face-to-face showdown. This is what I cared the most about more than anything else on the whole show, and it really did stand up at the plate, and it really did deliver. Basically, Triple H came down to the ring, and he was all freaking jacked up, wearing that badass Triple H shirt. That's probably one of the coolest Triple H shirts that he's had, honestly, since like the late 90s. Triple H has always been one of my favorite wrestlers, but I've never liked the guy's shirts. I've never been able to buy them and support them, but that's definitely one that's going to be added to the closet here at the Breach household. But, he had the taped fists. He knew he was going to throw down tonight, and basically he was just trying to come down, and he was just trying to intimidate Sting the most he could. Basically, he got into the ring, and he called out Sting. Didn't take Sting long to make his way down to the ring, and they came down face to face. And basically, Triple H put it out on the table. He just basically set the table with the story that went down, basically saying that Sting was a loyal soldier of WCW and he backed the wrong side. Never did he ever mention TNA, and never did they ever really play to the fact that Sting went to TNA instead of choosing WWE. But they were just basically saying, they were almost making it seem like, Sting has been waiting at home since 2001, waiting the 14 years since WCW closed to finally choose the point to rightfully attack Triple H. And Triple H basically, talked the whole promo, and it was basically, Sting just sort of doing the Sting thing, just sort of staying quiet. So we still don't even really know the reason why Sting came to Survivor Series and broke up Team Authority's chance of beating Team Cena. We don't know if maybe, Eric Rowan is Sting's cousin, and he didn't want his, his son to get, or whatever, to get fired, or I don't know. I have no clue. I still have no clue. And I don't know if they're going to put that behind them, and they just haven't really figured out what to do. They just found a cool spot to do it, knowing that everybody was going to be watching Survivor Series due to the fact that it was free the month of November. And here we are again, free for the month of February. But basically Triple H was saying the past is the past, and we can put that behind us. We can work together from here on out in the future. I will make Sting as big as he ever was in his past. I'll make Sting even bigger in 2015 through the use of the video games and the WWE Network and action figures and wrestling DVDs and this, that, or the other. Basically, saying that he wanted to pay off Sting, and they wanted to be on the same thing, that he was going to make Sting's legacy bigger than he ever was. He'd put him in the WWE Hall of Fame, and basically Sting really didn't play off any of that, and that was the point when I thought Sting was actually going to say something, or Sting was at a point at the WrestleMania sign, but instead, just Triple H just kept talking to the point where he started bringing up, Ric Flair, what he said on Monday Night Raw, and then out of the middle of nowhere, Triple H tried to sucker punch Sting, which Sting, fought back, and basically, he tried to get the advantage, but Triple H was able to overpower him and beat him down inside of the ring. And then he slid out to the outside, picking up his sledgehammer, coming into the ring, looking like he's going to rearrange Sting's brain, just clock him one time with that one, laying him out, and just that be all she wrote of this, their problem that Triple H has at this point. But instead, we get Sting with the bat that I didn't even notice that he had. I don't even know where he got it, if somebody from the outside slid it to him, because I don't remember seeing him come down to the ring with it, and he hasn't been having it his last few times that he was on television, whether if it was on Survivor Series, or whether if it was his appearance on Monday Night Raw, or are those the only appearances he's made? I think this is his third one. I'm not 100% sure. But somewhere I might have missed something along the line. But, Sting had the bat, and he fought back, hitting the Stinger Death Drop right there in the middle of the ring, pointing up at the WrestleMania sign, wondering if we were going to get, Triple H's announcement, as Michael Cole was like, Sting wants a match at WrestleMania, Sting wants a match at WrestleMania. This is the match that we've known was going to be happening for a while, definitely since Survivor Series. I knew that there was a few times that I mentioned maybe he's going to fight Seth Rollins for the fact that, Seth Rollins is the guy taking the loss for these matches, but definitely Sting has his sights set on Triple H. This is going to be an awesome match. This is probably the one match that I'm most excited for heading into WrestleMania 31, more than anything. I know that, you know, there's going to be Taker versus Bray, whatever happens in the main event tonight, which I still don't know, and I'm glad that nobody's tweeting me the answers of who wins this, but we're going to have to see. We're all set up for a great WrestleMania 31. We're going to have a ton of fun, and Triple H versus Sting was my main event at Fastlane. It'll be my main event at WrestleMania 31 as well. Alright, here we go. Divas Championship time. Paige versus Nikki Bella. Real short match. Nothing really big and spectacular here. Honestly, I thought this was the night that Paige was going to win her championship back and become a three-time Divas champion. But tonight just wasn't her night. Nikki Bella and Brie Bella come down wearing the hot yellow. I mean, there's been times that I've been really stunned by the Bellas. But tonight with them decked out in the yellow, probably one of the best that I've ever seen them show up on WWE television. But, you know, this was awesome seeing them at Fastlane. Hopefully they'll be rocking that yellow for a little bit. That was the first time I've ever noticed it. Wow. Paige, she had almost the tap out sort of submission finish. Paige had Nikki locked into the lock, but Nikki made it to the ropes. But from there, basically, it was Paige making a run at Nikki, and Nikki was able to duck out of the way, slamming Paige's head face first into the turnbuckle, where almost Paige's top nearly fell off. Right from there, basically, Nikki grabbed a handful of the tights, rolling Paige up for the victory, and getting the 1, 2, 3. Paige was in the ring, trying to readjust herself, trying to, you know, call Nikki back down to the ring. And I think we all knew that Nikki wasn't going to be coming down there for another fight. She was lucky to escape out with another victory, but I'm looking for some sort of a tag match is what I'm looking for. Not maybe not a tag match, but some sort of a fatal 4-way, a 6-pack challenge with a whole bunch of divas in there. Hopefully not as many as last time. I think there was like 20 divas in the ring at WrestleMania 30, all vying for the one pinfall that AJ Lee was able to get the victory from. But you know, they got a whole lot of good talent in the divas division. Girls that can really wrestle. Some girls that don't match up that well. I think there was a lot of people looking for a AJ Lee return tonight. We didn't get it. I don't know when she's coming back, but hopefully she'll be added into sort of this WrestleMania, gee golly, fun for the Divas division. I know that they've done the storyline where AJ and Paige don't get along. Maybe there's some way you can sort of put them on there. Emma, who is right down there doing like a little NXT run right now, she's would be really good to team up with Paige and try and bring Emma's level up to the point of the other girls that are out there. But Paige isn't going to be beating Nikki Bella, let alone anybody else, until you find somebody who's going to be able to fight off Brie on the outside. So we'll see what goes on with this one on to WrestleMania 31. But definitely Paige is going to be somewhere in the picture for the Divas Championship at WrestleMania. I am really pumped. Like I said in the video that I made about Sting versus Triple H and their face-to-face meeting tonight, basically this was my main event at Fastlane. I mean, like, Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, hopefully it'll be a really good match. John Cena versus Rusev is something that I don't really see a clean finish coming in this match. Both of those matches, I think, are leading on until something else down the road with you sort of put, John Cena versus Rusev. They do it again at WrestleMania 31. More than likely, we're going to be getting a 3-way involving Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. So to me, the back half of this pay-per-view is just, it is what it is. Whole bunch of matches that I don't really care about, like the matches that's about to start right now. Dean Ambrose going up against Bray Wyatt. But Sting versus Triple H, WrestleMania 31, looks like it's going to be my main event. It looks like it's going to be the one thing that I really care about. I was thinking that we would have to wait until tomorrow on Monday Night Raw for a Sting versus Triple H. Maybe not like a face-off, but maybe Triple H coming out and running down Sting and basically getting his chance to accept the challenge from Sting for WrestleMania 31, or maybe even flipping the switch and basically looking like Triple H is the bigger, stronger guy, basically turning it around like he's challenging Sting. Basically, he's not going to be backed into a corner. He's not going to be fearing this guy that hasn't, been on WWE's radar in 14 years since basically WCW's closure, which was honestly right around this time, 14 years ago, back in 2001 is when TBS pulled the plug on, and TNT as well, on WCW television on their network, and that was basically what killed WCW, because the people that were looking to buy it, whether that was the Ted Turner group, I apologize, Ted Turner owned it, dumbass, but Eric Bischoff's group, that is what that's when they pulled out and just said that it's not worth anything. Vince basically bought WCW for its naming rights. He got a few wrestlers in the deal. He got the tape library, which is he's made 10 times the money's worth. You can see all of the WCW pay-per-views. You can see the first few years of Nitro on the WWE network. You've got your at least 5-6 straight up WCW DVDs. You've got your Goldberg DVD. I'm sure he made a lot of money off the first NWO DVD that came out in like 2002 or 2003. Probably one of the first DVDs that he used the WCW footage on. Maybe he put a little bit on that Hulk Rules DVD as well. But Sting versus Triple H is probably the best way to use it. I know that a lot of people were thinking that Sting versus Undertaker was going to be awesome, and that was a match that people have been chasing for a long time. But Taker had a horrible match last year at WrestleMania, really showed his age. I know that he had the concussion against Brock Lesnar, but Triple H is a guy that has never showed any signs of letting up. I know that he only wrestles a few matches a year. We saw him wrestle against Daniel Bryan. We saw him wrestle the 2 matches with Evolution going up against The Shield. That was basically what he did last year. Triple H, always been one of my favorite guys. I'll always be in his corner and always be supporting him. I'm hoping, sort of, that I don't think, well, I know that I went on the record saying this a few years ago, that I don't think Triple H would win another wrestling match at another part of his career. I thought that he was basically moving into the point of Vince McMahon, where, Vince wrestled in a lot of matches. People wanted to see Vince get his ass kicked, and that's basically what Triple H was going to become. He had more of a name value behind him. I know that people wanted to see Vince get his ass kicked because he was the boss of WWE, and, he was the the figurehead that was, down against Austin or down against Rock or whoever was in charge at the time. People wanted to see that guy get killed because, as they said with Stone Cold Steve Austin, everybody wanted to, beat your boss up. And Stone Cold Steve Austin was actually getting to do it on television week in and week out. And that was one of the things that made WWE big time pop culture. But, I would love to see Triple H win this match. It doesn't make any sense to me. I know that there's a lot of Sting fans. There's a lot of WCW fans. Maybe WWE is looking at, this is some way to bring those WCW fans back. I know that when WCW closed down, everybody thought that basically everybody that watched Nitro, all those, sort of rating points that Nitro got, would all flip the channel over and they would start watching Monday Night Raw, and basically their share of the ratings would double. Because you have people that normally watch your show, and the people that normally watch WCW would be looking for some sort of a wrestling, and basically everyone that watched WCW just vanished. Poof. I don't know if this is their way of thinking that they're going to get those people back. I know that we've already seen, Ric Flair, the NWO, Goldberg, lots of guys come in, and, I think Goldberg was the real reason that they brought him in, was trying to get this WCW pack. But, like they've been saying, Sting was the franchise. Sting was the guy that stayed no matter what was going down. Ric Flair left for that little bit. Basically that 1-year run when he left WCW, and he headed over, and he won the Royal Rumble. He main evented, co-main evented a WrestleMania against Randy Savage. Of course, in the main event was Hulk Hogan against Sid Vicious, and then they started to go with their different direction with basically the youth movement, and Vince said, Rick, you can stay here and wrestle if you want to, you'll always have a job, but you're not going to be in that limelight, you're not going to be in the main event, and if this isn't what we promised you, if you want to leave, the door's open. And Rick saw the writing on the wall. He went back and was, he thought was going to be, big old hug, welcome back, but then he sort of got, they got mad at him because he put Mr. Perfect over on the way out, and it ended up being another fight. And then, every time he got lifted up, he got dropped down, and that's what Ric Flair was. But I'm pumped. I know that they're making this out to be WWE versus WCW, but to me, I can see through the line. Sting versus Triple H. This is going to be a good wrestling match. Triple H is going to make sure that Sting goes out on the way up. It's going to be awesome. This was not a match that I was looking forward to in Wade Barrett versus Dean Ambrose at all. The Intercontinental Championship to me is a belt that really honestly doesn't really have a whole lot of meaning behind it. And I don't know, Dean Ambrose wanting to beat Wade Barrett to become Intercontinental Champion for the one reason he wants to put his picture on a hallway inside of the WWE Titan Towers. Just that wasn't a good enough story for me. This match was bad. Honestly, you know, Dean Ambrose had to attack Wade Barrett. He had to basically tie him up to the turnbuckle in the side of the ring and get him to forcefully sign the contract in order for this match to happen. At SmackDown, somebody stepped in and finally said, you know, this match is going to happen whether if Wade Barrett doesn't want to do it or not. Dean Ambrose is the #1 contender. And so Wade Barrett came to the ring for this match tonight, but basically never wanted this match to really go down. The story of this match was Wade Barrett was trying to run away. Dean Ambrose would have to keep chasing him down and bringing him back into the ring and sort of beat down on him. Wade Barrett would get the advantage, and Wade Barrett would try to leave again. And basically, because of Wade Barrett not wanting to be inside of this match, Dean Ambrose lost his cool inside the ring. Basically, the referee was trying to stop the match as Dean Ambrose was trying to beat down Wade Barrett to the point where he wouldn't run away anymore. And the referee stepped in and called for the bell, saying it was a disqualification. Not a whole bunch of time in this match. Even when the bell rang, people were sort of weirded out when the ref called for the disqualification. You know, basically, after the match was over, Ambrose dragged Wade Barrett's body to the center of the ring. He hit the dirty deeds with him and then just walked away in disappointment, but grabbed the Intercontinental Championship, basically saying that this wasn't over, and then if Wade Barrett wanted his belt back, he would have to come get him, as JBL was calling for security, saying that Ambrose was stealing the Intercontinental Championship. I was honestly hoping that this was going to be a one-match sort of just build to nothing, but it looks like, you know, Ambrose really wants that belt. Barrett's going to want his belt back. This is going to be a WrestleMania 31 match. I don't know how you think that Ambrose winning the Intercontinental Championship is going to be his crowning WrestleMania moment. I know if you go back to WrestleMania 28 with the Intercontinental Championship, you had Big Show winning the belt from Cody Rhodes, and everybody said that was the crowning moment of Big Show's career with the Intercontinental Championship. But Big Show's the guy who's held the WCW title, he's held the WWE title, he's held the ECW title, he's held just about every tag title you can think of. He won the Intercontinental Championship. It's no big deal. He broke down and cried in the middle of the ring for beating Cody Rhodes, the guy that he's probably at least 4 times the size of. Ambrose winning the Intercontinental Championship is not going to be a crowning moment in his career. It's not even going to be a stepping stone in the next direction. With what the Shield did in their run, they're for bigger things. World Heavyweight Championship, WWE Championship, that's what Ambrose should be gunning for. I know that there are stepping stones in your career, and the Intercontinental Championship is one of the stepping stones along the way. That and the United States Championship, but and honestly, this is not a feud that he needed. This is not a feud that is going to help him. I know that you have to get him into a match, but I don't know, man. This feud is not doing anything for me. I can honestly say that I knew what was going to happen. And I saw this earlier tonight when I was watching this live instead of watching it taped. And I can't believe it. I still for it. I still fell for it. I wanted Undertaker to be in that coffin. I wanted the Druids to be pushing Undertaker down to the ring. I thought that it was awesome the way that they did it the second time as well it was the first time. Bray Wyatt, it's the big, huge Undertaker, you know, with the Druids coming out, they all holding the fire, basically the long, slow, dramatic music as they push the coffin, as it makes its way all the way down to the ring, and no one in the Memphis arena that night made a sound. The announcers, for the most part, stayed quiet, just in shock of what they thought they were seeing. Once it hits the ring and everything comes to a stop, Bray Wyatt sits up Undertaker style inside of the coffin looking into the camera like, gee, who'd you think he was going to be? And Undertaker, you know, basically Bray Wyatt calls out Undertaker, basically saying, you know, as a little kid when he first saw Taker, he was, you know, just in shock and awe, and he was in fear of the Undertaker, but the Undertaker over the course of his career has lost the mystique that he once had. He no longer has the drive that he had, and it's Bray Wyatt's job to take Undertaker and put him out to pasture. At WrestleMania 31, Bray Wyatt is throwing down the gauntlet. He's throwing down the challenge. Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker. You know, for so long we've been, you know, when Bray Wyatt was coming out of, you know, NXT, FCW, getting pushed up to the WWE, going up against Kane. People thought that he would take on Kane at that Survivor Series and that Fire match. From there, Undertaker would come back that year at WrestleMania, and it would be Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. Is this first big superhero meeting of these two guys. So this superhuman sort of dealing that they've had. We've never really figured out who Bray Wyatt is. For a while, we thought that he's almost just basically just some dude like the Big Lebowski or something like that, or maybe he's some sort of a cult leader. There was that little time when he was able to hypnotize Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan was able to break out of that last year before this. But Bray Wyatt is setting the table to have a huge WrestleMania for him. Everybody can remember back to last year at WrestleMania 30, going up against John Cena. People thought this would be the one thing that would really cement him down as being that guy. I don't see Undertaker showing up to WrestleMania 31 to lose, but I don't know why you're putting Bray Wyatt into this match if he's not really going to get anything out of this one match. I don't see Undertaker coming back for Extreme Rules. I don't see Undertaker coming back for Payback. I don't see him coming back for Money in the Bank, Night of Champions, SummerSlam, anything along the way. I'm hoping that this is Undertaker's last match. I know there's a lot of people out there that want to see Undertaker go in to WrestleMania 32's Hall of Fame in Dallas. There's people out there that want to see Taker fight Sting at WrestleMania 32. I don't think that's going to happen. But we saw something special tonight. This was really big. People thought they were going to see Randy Orton's return and Undertaker's return both in the same night. Bray Wyatt shocked the hell out of us. Now let's get down to the main event style. We got Rusev going up against John Cena in the next match, and we need to get all fired up for this one. This is going to be a ball breaker. This is going to be a big one. How the mighty have fallen. I cannot believe it. What a match that was. John Cena versus Rusev at the 2015 Fastlane pay-per-view. What a normal John Cena match this is. Just really, really good. Going up against Rusev, two guys that really love to hit each other as hard as they can go. And basically, John Cena gave so much to Rusev, and Rusev took so much from Cena. They went back and forth in what was a great, just big, strong man match. Of course, Cena hitting the FU, Cena hitting the strapping on the attitude adjustment, and Rusev being able to be big and power out of it, and just how much these guys really just gave each other was really, really good. Rusev, of course, taking Cena to the end, basically, with him just pushing him to the edge. Of course, he strapped Cena into the Accolade. From the Accolade, basically, Cena was able to keep moving the arms off of the legs, and Rusev kept trying to strap him in, and basically, they were able to finally get to the point where Cena was able to break the hold. At this point, just Lana grabs the United States Championship, and she just starts getting into the ring, and what the fuck are you doing? Get out of here, the match is still going. But, as she gets into the ring, Charles Robinson, the referee, goes over and tries to remove Lana from the ring. Basically, from there, Rusev, just kicks Cena right in the junk, and then it follows it up with a kick right to the head, making Cena knocked out and fall to the floor. From there, basically, Rusev strapped into the Accolade, leaned back on it, and, Charles Robinson, the referee, was able to notice that Cena was out. Cena wasn't going to be tapping out, and he just had to strap he basically had to stop the match, call for the finish, and just basically say that it was over. And the fans booed like crazy. This definitely is going to be a WrestleMania 31 rematch. I don't know what they're going to do. They need to get that Rusev championship off of there, unless Rusev's going to sweep John Cena. Having this match at WrestleMania 31, you would think that Cena's going to get the victory. I don't think WWE is going to learn from their past mistakes. If you go back and think about Bray Wyatt versus John Cena, I just kept on saying that the match was going to mean so much more to Bray Wyatt than it did for John Cena. John Cena didn't need to get a WrestleMania victory against Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt is still trying to dig himself out of the hole from that match. And we're going to have to see. Damn, it's going to be a good one. I want to see another Cena versus Rusev match, because this was good. Hopefully we'll get to see more Lana versus Cena in the next 5 weeks, building up to WrestleMania. But this was a great match. I mean, this and the Sting versus Triple H face-to-face, Kid versus Cesaro. That's the reason why we're there, but we're going down to the main event. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. We're seeing who gets their ticket punched to go to WrestleMania 31 next. Man, oh man, the main event is set. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. There was no false finish. There was no screwy finish. It was just straight up Roman Reigns beating Daniel Bryan in the main event of WWE FASTLANE 2015. Where we go from here, I have no idea. If you go back to the snowed-in Raw a few weeks ago, basically after the Royal Rumble, you got to see the face-off of Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. From there, the next Monday, we saw Triple H teasing the idea that, due to the sort of screwy finish at the Royal Rumble, that Roman Reigns was going to have to fight Daniel Bryan in order to see who was the real, winner to move on and be into this. And because of this, I and so many other people thought that Daniel Bryan was going to win this match, or we were going to have some sort of Brock Lesnar come down and destroy everybody, or maybe Seth Rollins run in and curb stomp both of the guys, leaving them laying, and have some sort of a screwy finish to Fastlane. Basically, all of us running over and huddled around the TV tomorrow for Monday Night Raw to see, what they're going to do to try and fix the WrestleMania 31 main event. But instead, Roman just beats him in what was a good match. Probably not Roman's best match, but a damn good match between him and Daniel Bryan, with a whole bunch of false finishes, making you think that this was going to be some sort of just a false finish or weird. Both of the guys were outside of the ring after Bryan had landed 2 of his flying goat toupees to the outside, taking out Roman Reigns. The count got all the way to I believe 8 before Daniel Bryan scooted into the ring, and then Roman Reigns almost got counted out to the point where he got back into the ring around 9, and then both guys were knocked out into the ring, and the ref was making his count, and he was trying to, try to get both guys up before the count, so that way we wouldn't have some sort of just both guys knocking each other out. But in the end, Daniel Bryan looked like he had this in his hand. We saw him lock in the yes lock out of the middle of nowhere, as, he was really trying to wrestle this match around Reigns. Roman Reigns is a real physical guy with his big punches and kicks and spears. But Daniel Bryan tried to take it to the mat. He went down to the floor doing the little spider dance to start this match off. And I thought this was a really good match. As I'm talking about it, I think I like it more now than I did when it first ended. It's sort of starting to sink in. This is definitely a match that I would want to watch again. Probably one that we are going to be seeing highlights of for a lot. Hyping up WrestleMania, seeing how Roman Reigns beat probably the biggest competitor out there. We've seen Roman beat just about everybody. We've seen him beat Corporate Kane. We've seen him beat Big Show about 1,000 times. As far as I can think off the top of my head, we haven't seen Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins in a one-on-one match. If we have, maybe just take some sort of refreshing. But Roman beating Daniel Bryan puts him at the top of the line. He won the Royal Rumble. He won a big singles match, and now he's ready for Brock. Brock is a different guy than Daniel Bryan. He is a real, wrestler's wrestler, I guess you can say, or a fighter. Roman's gonna get beat down a lot in that match, and he's gonna have to find a way to overcome it and find a way to look strong. But damn good match here. Daniel Bryan went into the corner, came running out of the corner, delivering a flying knee to Roman Reigns. And instead, Roman hits the big spear. I didn't think it was over, but 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan scoots out of the ring. We didn't get a heel turn. We didn't get anything. If anything, you got to be looking for Daniel Bryan with the return of Sheamus. Maybe that match that was rumored to be off the books is now back on the books. But where Bryan goes from here, I don't know. But Roman Reigns is in the effing main event, and he's going to be ready for WrestleMania 31. We're going to have to see. Good show. Wasn't great show. It was fun. Well worth the $10 for the WWE Network. I'm happy. 2 thumbs up from this guy over here.